This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I'm here today in the company of Francesco Marone Cinzano, who is joining us all the way from Coldorgia in Montalcino. How are you today, sir?
Good, great, thank you.
Now, I've been purchasing your wines for many a year, but for those unfamiliar with your house, would you mind telling us a little about the history of it?
Well, Coldorgia is a historic producer of Brunello. We're on the southern slopes of Montalcino. We're harvesting as we speak. It's a great 2019 vintage. We're very much looking forward to a bumper crop after difficult years,
yes.
2017, 2018. We have been producing Brunello every year precisely because we seek for the vineyard, for our vines, a harmony, a balance with the environment, and that allows us to manage good crops every year with variations, with different character. Here we have a bottle of Brunello di Montalcino from vintage 2014. It was a fresh, rainy year, so a lighter kind of Brunello, a Brunello for early drinking. On the other hand, we're expecting from January the next vintage, 2015, which is a 5-star vintage, a wine that will be able to age for a very long time, 25, 30, 35 years, like the great Brunellos that have made the denomination famous around the world.
Now, your family came to Tuscany in the 70s, is that correct?
In 1973, my father purchased the estate, the Coldorgia estate, at a time which I like to remind people that Montalcino was rated as one of the poorest municipalities in Italy.
How things have changed.
They have changed a lot. And Coldorgia has given a contribution to that change. Certainly in the 1970s and also in the 1980s, Coldorgia was the only Brunello producer that had a structured commercial network around Italy, around Europe, and around the world. And so we gave a very significant contribution to the notoriety and to the distribution of Brunello wines around the world.
What does Brunello di Montalcino mean to you? What does it bring to the glass? Because I feel that Brunello has been going through a bit of a personality crisis over perhaps the last decade. What makes for a good Brunello di Montalcino for you?
I believe that, like in many things, you have to differentiate the different Brunellos. There are many different situations, climatic situations, yes. Land, and so on, and interpretations by winemakers. So far as Coldorgia is concerned, we're talking about traditional Brunello. We're talking about true expression of the terroir, and we're talking about purity. So Brunello for me is an expression of the pure Sangiovese, only from the Montalcino municipality, an expression of history, of what people living in Tuscany, living in this southern part of Tuscany, have been enjoying for thousands of years. We come from an area that was inhabited by the Etruscans, even before the Romans. They produced wines. We like to think that they used Sangiovese, and they were drinking the same wines we enjoy today.
Would you say it was a fair observation to say that for many producers in Montalcino, the shape of Brunello has been, molded by the North American market?
Well, the temptation to try and satisfy the short-term whim of the market is very strong, and I myself have found myself doubting about the strategy of being a defensor of the tradition of not satisfying these requests by short-term requests by the market. But eventually I convinced myself that this is the right path. Eventually consumers enjoy a wine where they finish the glass and finish the bottle, rather than one that is overripe and over-extracted and more difficult to enjoy and to drink.
Did you ever have a dalliance into Barrique?
Well, I produce a couple of wines that we might talk about in the future. In fact, I might be coming back later next year to present a single vineyard, which is only slightly more modern interpretation, where out of the 3 years aging in the oak barrels, one is in barrique, so in smaller wood. So a small concession, partial concession to a more modern interpretation of Brunello.